Hi there everyone, and welcome back to Boat McRill. Today we're actually back in my other boat, Lickan, my Albin 25. And it's actually time to bring it back to life for the coming summer. There's a bit of things to do. As most of your boat owners know, there's always some thinking about what to do and what's been happening with boat during the winter and stuff like that. So I've actually set up a checklist, and that checklist I'm using when I'm doing my preparings for the upcoming launch. And I'm gonna share that list with you. So this video is going to be a little bit special because my idea was actually not to be sitting here inside my old boat. My idea was to be on the boat show Allt för sjön here in Stockholm this weekend. And I was actually supposed to put up two movies, one tomorrow and one next week, at least partially next week, about the show and all of that stuff. But because of the COVID-19 or coronavirus, the boat show closed down on midnight between Wednesday and Thursday. And that means that there is no more boat show this year. The situation with the COVID growing here in Sweden, and it might become bad. At the moment, our government is fighting the spread of the virus. Therefore, I came up with this idea. I'm going to start work with this boat that I have here, my Albin 25, and the checklist that I showed you. And that checklist that I'm talking about is actually a spreadsheet. It looks a bit like this. The checklist is divided by two parts. First, the standard items that I'm doing every year. There's also some maintenance items that I'm setting up after doing a walk through the boat every spring. As you can see here, the first part is actually the standard items, and the standard items are, in my case, all of these. The first part is making sure to book and set up launch date, check propane system, check propeller and anodes, through hulls and hoses, check and repair impeller, check oil, fuel and cooling, change fuel filter and prime the fuel filter, check and install battery bank. I'm always have my battery bank in my storage and charging it during the winter. Check solar charging system. Of course, you can do that after you have installed the battery bank. Reinstall thermostat, because I have seawater cooling and not freshwater cooling. I need to remove the thermostat every fall and put it back in every spring. Uncover the boat. All the other stuff you can do before you uncover the boat. I usually uncover the boat like a week or so before the launch. Reinstall dodger or enclosure, cleaning cabins, polish hulls over waterline if needed. Usually it is clean hull under waterline. If needed, use barnacle cleaner, and if not done in the fall, you got some bottom paint or anti-fouling you might consider to put on. Cleaning cockpit and test start engine. After that, you have a maintenance items, and in my case, this is always empty. And it's not because that I don't have maintenance stuff to do, but it's because I haven't done the run through or walk through yet. I'm gonna do a walkthrough with you all, and I'm going to put in the items here that I need to do before I can launch the boat. There's always some things that you can keep until later, but it's always better to do them while the boat is on land. You can always ask yourself now, why on earth do I want to tell you all about this? Well, I know that there is a lot of people, especially new boat owners, that actually are having a fear about the upcoming spring preparing for the launch. And therefore, I'm actually sharing this checklist with you. I'm gonna put up a series of videos where I'm going through the most important standard items on this list and going to let you go with me when I'm doing it. This weekend is the list, and I'm going to do the walkthrough with you all and putting up the maintenance items and checking what on the standard items that is most needed to be done right now. One good idea is to start on the outside. Just take a walkthrough and see what of the main items that you need to, or the standard items that you need to take better consideration of. The first item that I actually can check on the outside, that is the propeller and the anodes. After that, there's a lot of indoors or engine related stuff. Uncover the boat. Well, yeah, as you can see, the boat is covered, and I'm not going to remove that before the boat is actually more or less ready for taking into the water. That's probably going to be like a week or two before the launch. The hull going to be polished, of course. Cleaning hull on the waterline. Yeah, as you can see here, stuff left from when I was scraping barnacles last year. And as you can see here, that's my propeller. And that's actually one of my anodes that I put in last year, and it's almost gone. I need to check if there is a propeller anode for this one. I didn't find one last year, but I know there's supposed to be able to put one in there. That bigger anode that I got over here, that looks pretty okay. That's gonna be good for at least another year. One of the items that I also have is checking through hulls and hoses. And when you do this walk around the boat, you can always check those items too. There's always a good idea to take a look at your through hulls from the outside, see how they look like. You got a little bit of the copper has gone a little bit dark and some greenish. I don't know if that's something to care about right now, and in big words, it looks pretty good. It's pretty okay. I know there's some bigger through holes on this side. See where I got them? They are actually over here. They look like this on this side. Also a little bit darkened, but overall pretty okay. There's also, as I showed you earlier, a piece on the sheet where it's placed for maintenance items. And one of the things I would actually like to do this year before I put this one in the water is actually to put some new paint or something on this old thing where you can take baths from. I don't know what it's called in English, but as you can see here, here's my old toilet. That one has to be put back. Of course, the cleaning parts are as usual. Otherwise, it looks pretty okay. Let's get inside. Your way through. I know that this one is not okay. Repair cabinet, I'm gonna call that. I also know that this one is not sitting as well as it's supposed to, and it's actually all the way. But I'm not gonna do that this year. I might actually be putting in some glue, but I will be back to that later. It looks like this all the way around. It's just gone bad, and I'm actually gonna have to tear down more or less everything inside here to put in new side coverings in there, and I'm not gonna do that this year. I have enough to do on my big boat. So there's also a couple of old screw holes that I put some epoxy in last year that has to be sanded down and painted. You can take a look in here in the toilet. Of course, there's no toilet in there, and that I'm gonna put up on the list. And also in here I got some places where I can sand and put some new paint when I'm doing that. I'm also gonna install my VHF and my AIS that I have, that actually for the big boat, but it's registered right now on this smaller boat. That's gonna be taken care of. That was actually a walk around the boat and going through the checklist. At the moment, I think I got most of the standard items, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got about 10 maintenance items that I need to do. Next week we will be back here on Lyckan and doing some of the standard items. I'm just gonna go from top to bottom, and I might be going. Depends a little bit how long time it takes. Some items might be a whole video. Other items might be a couple of them in one video. If you like this video, please hit the subscription button down here on the right, and also give me a thumbs up. And if you have any ideas or comments about this checklist, items that you want to be put up on the standard items yearly, then send me a comment or a mail to Boat McRill at gmail.com, and I will consider putting things up on the standard items. The maintenance items is of course different from boat to boat and from year to year, so that's just an empty piece of sheet. And if you want to use this checklist that I've put up, please consider becoming a patron, and you get access to it both in PDF and Excel. So by that, I hope to see you next week, and we'll start the big work here on board Lyckan to make her ready for the summer, so that I have something to have some fun in. So by that, take care, stay well. I hope you don't get a COVID-19, because I'm trying to stay away from it as much as I can. Hopefully we see each other next week. Bye.